Welcome back to our channel. Today's topic is undoubtedly one of the hottest and fastest paced we've ever covered. That's because it was a week, Milena, that I would say unprecedented. Announcements from giants like OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and of course, new controversies from Elon Musk. We barely managed to breathe with so much new information. The sector's speed is simply impressive.
Hello, Rodrigo, and everyone who is with us. Yes, impressive is the right word. Here at the newsroom, we barely managed to keep up with everything. We are talking about new language models, advances in code, image generation, video, music, and even the creation of interactive worlds. Yes, immersive worlds. Will the metaverse finally succeed now? So our challenge is to try to unpack all of this.
Milena, let's start with the giant that once again dominated headlines worldwide, OpenAI. They arrived with the much anticipated GPT-5. What are they saying about this new model? What were the main promises and the initial results we saw? Because from what I understand, it's not a simple advancement, it's a huge qualitative leap.
They are describing GPT-5 as a model with PhD level intelligence. And it's not just a marketing gimmick, Rodrigo, it's a substantial breakthrough. They announced that the model has surpassed records in various areas, especially in mathematics and programming, which are fields where previous models still had difficulties. The ability for logical reasoning and following complex instructions seems to have been exponentially improved. Additionally, they say it is faster and, crucially for us users, with fewer hallucinations. This is a problem that sometimes compromises the usefulness of AI models, and the promise that this flaw has been mitigated is a huge advance for system trustworthiness.
This issue of hallucinations is a very important point I think I should highlight for those listening to us. For those who don't know, these are those responses that are nonsensical or completely wrong that AI models sometimes invent, as if they are filling knowledge gaps with false information, but with total conviction. It is a serious problem that undermines trust, especially when we consider using AI for more critical tasks, such as in work or study environments. The promise that GPT-5 is more reliable in this regard is a huge step forward for adoption in professional settings. And the interface, it seems to have changed as well, making the interaction more fluid.
Yes, the interface seems simpler, more intuitive. They improved the model's ability to decide on its own how to approach your request. In other words, you don't need to be an expert in prompt engineering, which is the art of creating detailed commands to get the best response from an AI. The model itself already understands your intention and shapes the interaction to be more efficient and direct. And the best news for many people is that access is being released to everyone, not just subscribers. Is that right, Rodrigo? It's the democratization of access to cutting-edge technology.
Exactly. Apparently, access is being made available to everyone, including those who do not pay, which is already a significant paradigm shift in the market. And not only through the web interface, but also via API, which is essential for developers and companies that want to integrate AI into their own products and services. And in Microsoft Copilot, they gave an example that for me was jaw-dropping, something that made me stop and think about what we are already capable of doing. They created a clone of a famous game, Vampire Survivors, with just a single text command, just one command. Until quite recently, this seemed like science fiction, didn't it? We talked about AI generating text, images, but generating an entire game with mechanics, graphics, and gameplay is something that truly changes the game.
Yes, totally, Rodrigo. It's the kind of thing we see and think, where will this end? And what fascinates me most about this leap in capability is the clear focus on programming. It's not just about convenience, about summarizing a text or writing an email. This signals a fundamental change in the role of AI. It is not only predicting the next text in a sequence, but actively solving problems, building its own tools, and even self-correcting, like in an engineering process. It is a level of automation that goes far beyond what we imagined, and will undoubtedly transform the technology market and, consequently, the global economy.
This makes a lot of sense. And we can't forget that it wasn't just OpenAI that moved. The competition is fiercer than ever. Anthropic also arrived with news with their Cloud Opus 4.1. Although GPT-5 quickly surpassed it in benchmarks and API cost, Cloud Opus 4.1 showed impressive strength in other areas and proved that the market is diversifying.
This is true. He stood out, for example, by creating a complex fitness app with interactive features and a well-structured interface. In some initial tests, the result was even considered better than GPT-5. But what is really interesting about Cloud Opus is that if the model doesn't know the answer, it can write a script to search for and find the solution. It's a meta capability. This ability to generate scripts and self-produce to solve problems is fundamentally different from previous models and is what enables this capacity to generate complex applications almost instantly.
But doesn't that raise a question, Milena? We are talking about AI creating code and even complex applications. Doesn't this raise a major issue about the quality and mainly the security of this code before it goes into production? What guarantees that the generated code does not have security flaws or vulnerabilities?
Certainly, Rodrigo. This is a very valid concern. Human validation, rigorous testing remain crucial. AI greatly accelerates the creation process, but does not eliminate the need for supervision, quality control, and most importantly, responsibility on the part of the developer. Good software engineering practices are still essential, at least for now. And I would say that this only reinforces the importance of having qualified professionals to work with these tools to ensure that what is being generated is safe, functional, and ethical. AI is a powerful tool, but human intelligence remains the last line of defense.
I understand, it all makes sense. And OpenAI, as you well said, didn't stop there. We also saw the launch of GPT-oss.
Ah, yes, the GPT-oss, the open weight models.
Exactly. Open weight models, which means they are much more accessible to the developer and researcher community. And they are quite powerful models with 120 billion and 20 billion parameters comparable to the generation prior to GPT-5. The main difference, and what I think deserves our attention, is that they can run locally, that is offline, directly on the user's computer.
This is a very important point, Rodrigo. Without the need to send data to the cloud, this greatly increases accessibility and data control for developers and researchers. It is a significant step towards the democratization of AI, taking power away from large corporations and putting it into the hands of developers, researchers, and even enthusiasts. It allows innovation to happen in more places and in a safer way, without the constant dependence on an internet connection and third-party servers.
Exactly, Milena. And the revolution, we realized, didn't stay just in the text and the code. AI is gaining senses. It is seeing, hearing, building worlds. The multimodal part, which you already mentioned, is becoming stronger and more impressive. The barrier between the digital world and the real world seems to be becoming increasingly thin.
Yes, Google DeepMind, for example, showed Genie 3. It creates interactive worlds from text or an image. Just imagine, Rodrigo, being able to control a helicopter in a scene generated by AI right there, in real time, with each frame being created dynamically, reacting to your actions. It's a level of interaction and generation that we haven't seen on a large scale before.
Wow, that's right. And NVIDIA didn't fall behind. It launched AI Twin, which creates digital avatars from videos with impressive realism, and Elon Musk's Grok Imagine, which generates images and videos very quickly, is being released for free in the United States, which already indicates market pressure for free access models.
That's right. And there was also qwen-image, which people praised highly for the quality of the generated image and text together, a perfect combination for those who need marketing materials or presentations. And Leonardo, which was already known for its image generation tools, launched a new aesthetic model, lucid, and an image-to-video feature, Velo 3. There's a lot of visual activity happening. A lot. We can barely keep up with the news and updates.
It's just that we're seeing a convergence, right, Milena? AI is creating not only static content like a still image, but dynamic multimodal content. And this is spreading to other areas. ELEVENLABS, which was famous for synthetic voices.
Yes, their voices are great. They are super realistic with intonation and emotion. We don't even realize it's an AI speaking.
Now entered the music generation with 11 Music. They are directly competing with players like Suno and Udio. You can create anything from pop punk, a more energetic song, to an instrumental track for a musician to improvise over. The ability to customize and create on a large scale is fascinating and opens a wide range of possibilities for artists and producers.
Exactly, Rodrigo. And Google Gemini, one of the most well-known, now makes illustrated and personalized history books. From a children's story about a lost sock to more humorous themes for adults, adapting the writing style and type of illustration to your needs. AI is becoming an extremely powerful tool for personalized interactive creation across many different fronts. And to measure all this, to see who is the best, Google Kaggle is launching AI tournaments and games.
This is a great idea. They started with chess, right? To evaluate which model is the best strategist to go beyond the traditional benchmarks we already know. It's a way to test the real usefulness of these models in a competitive and complex environment where strategic intelligence is put to the test.
Exactly. And speaking of promises, Elon Musk is already talking about Grok 5, which he says will be released before the end of the year and will be overwhelmingly good. Well, his track record with deadlines is, let's say, flexible. But this shows the pressure, the race that is happening in this market. No one wants to fall behind. And the competition for advances is what has been driving innovation at this dizzying pace.
And the reflection remains, right? With AI now generating not only content, but interactive experiences, functional code almost on demand, could new forms of creativity and solving problems we hadn't even imagined become common soon? What happens when anyone can generate a customized app or an interactive world just with a description?
This video doesn't end now. It continues with us chatting in the comments. If you found this video interesting, I invite you to become a channel member and like this video. Up here on the top right, I will leave a video suggestion for you to continue with me.
Exactly. As always, thank you very much for watching. I am Rodrigo, she is Milena, and we'll see you next time.